It's different.
Continued pressure this morning from the United States for China to release a well-known Chinese activist so that he can begin a new life here in America. Chen Guangcheng is being held a virtual prisoner at a Beijing hospital, and you can see the media being held at bay right across the street from the hospital there. Now, Chen has been offered a fellowship from New York University, but he says he is being cut off from the outside world and having a very difficult time starting the process to leave China.
I cannot apply myself. I am lying in bed, so I cannot do it myself. I can only ask the hospital to inform the relevant department about the application.
Now, the Vice President and even Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are getting involved in this international wrangle. And here to talk about this is radio show host Lisa Wexler. Good to see you, Lisa.
Good morning, Logan. I'm great.
So want to set the stage, who this person is, and why he's being detained, why we want to bring him here.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, Chen Guangcheng is somebody who spent 4 years in prison and then several other years in house arrest for daring to challenge the Chinese government about their horrible forced one-child policy in which women that are 8 months pregnant have the baby removed from their belly, killed, and then forced sterilization.
Forced abortions, forced sterilization,
forced abortion, forced all of it.
Right.
And so Chen Guangcheng decided that he wanted to protest this. He's blind. He wanted to protest this from within China, and they put him in jail. He made this daring escape. And he escaped to the U.S. Embassy, where he was embraced by our State Department, and then there was a deal made, and then he was ridden to a hospital, and then he was abandoned by our State Department. And they admit they screwed up about that. But here's the big picture. China is on the ascendancy economically, educationally, even militarily in this world. You and I, Americans, have to think about what does the world look like when it's only China, when they control the agenda for everything. That's why this case has the world's agenda right now. That's why it has the world's attention, Logan, because the United States has to step in to be a defender of basic human rights. Otherwise, who are we and what are we?
Well, on the other side is the United States shouldn't be trying to police the world. There are lots of other countries out there that do horrible things, and we need to just not always get involved in every situation.
Except that I think that we have a responsibility to provide sanctuary in such a clear-cut way. This man is a hero. He's a human rights hero. He shares our values. Is there any way that you or I would ever agree with a policy of enforced sterilization and killing of healthy babies at 8 months old? No. So if we don't stand up to defend and protect people who are trying to fight for a better world, then what are we and who are we?
So it sounded like there was a deal, and it sounded like he was going to be coming here.
It does.
Now, all of a sudden, now it's not.
I know. But Hillary Clinton deserves a lot of props, because last week she saved this again when he was complaining that the United States had deserted him. All of a sudden, then NYU came in with an offer. I don't think the story is over yet. I do think he will be ultimately given safe passage with his family to the United States, which he has said is his second choice because it doesn't enable him to fight for China within China, but at least he and his family will be safe. They were beaten and tortured at the hands of the Chinese.
How does all this differ? I'm no immigration law expert, but there are lots of people in other countries, Mexico, and they can't just come over to the United States, and people in Cuba trying to get over here. It seems like we allow them, and now we've got, so it almost depends on what country are you from, and what's the policy, and what exactly is it?
Well, listen, you're talking about immigration policy. It's a patchwork of ununderstandable craziness. But there is a distinction between people who simply want a better life for prosperity and those who are facing real beatings, real jail, real torture for defending human rights that you and I agree need to be defended. I think there's a very clear distinction between the two.
We'll remind everybody that you can hear more of Lisa on her radio show. She's on from 4 to 6 p.m., 12:30 a.m. WFAS. You can also head on over to lisawexler.com. Fun to talk to you, Lisa.
Thanks,
Appreciate that.